Hello, welcome to Let's Replay. I'm Ellie Gibson and I'm joined by Eurogamer's Ollie Welsh. Hello, Ollie.
Hi, Ellie.
Hello, are you excited about today's Let's Replay?
I'm very excited.
You sound it. I'm super excited because this is actually, this is my favourite video game of all time. I should explain Let's Replay. The idea behind Let's Replay is basically we're going to look back at classic games from history. And as I say, this is my personal favourite. Can you guess what it is yet? You really can't say that anymore. It is, of course, the original Tomb Raider. So, Ollie, tell me about. Did you play this game? Do you remember this well?
Yeah, not at the time. I remember as an impoverished student walking into the HMV in York and seeing it running on a Sega Saturn, which I could not afford. I'm thinking it looked pretty cool, but I only had eyes for the Nintendo 64 and Mario at the time, so I didn't really think that much about it. When I did get a PlayStation later, I think I gave it a go, although I'm not sure I ever completed it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I ever completed it, and it is my favourite game of all time, so so there you are. Yeah, I first saw it about 96, I guess it must have been. My friend Stephen was playing it, and I'd never seen anything like it before, and I remember standing there for about half an hour going, but I don't understand. It's just a woman walking around corridors in a sort of rustic car park. I really didn't get it at all. And then I ended up playing it myself a few weeks later, and yeah, I fell in love, basically. I'm not ashamed to say that. I support equal marriage. So here we are. So looking at this, the opening sort of sequence, do you think it's aged well?
Yeah, well, not the cutscenes, not so much, have they? It's got
they've got a scion. That's pretty current.
A personal data manager.
That's right.
Yeah, it's got that sort of Dire Straits money for nothing look about these scenes where you can see the joints in everybody's limbs, even when they're exposed.
Boobs. Even there's a nice bit of side boob there. That is very contemporary. So I think this is. Oh, here comes the wireframe. There it is. That's right. Because since this game, there's been approximately 1,000 Tomb Raider sequels, and there's always a hokey old artifact that they have to go and get, isn't there? And they never just show you a nice picture of it. No. You know, it's a wireframe, because that's the most illustrative means of explaining what it is. Oh, do you remember the mute? Do you remember all this? Is it coming back to you?
Oh, it is. The music is really bringing it back, and that wonderfully garish screen. I love this menu as well, one of the great video game menus of all time.
It is. Look at that passport, and that's when a passport was a passport. You could have killed a man with one of those passports. Those are the days. So I've taken the liberty of getting us up to sort of one of the more exciting levels in the game, because there really is a lot of walking around corridors. So today we're going to play the Lost Valley. Now, real fans of the series will probably realise where this is going, but if you're not familiar, there's a nice surprise at the end of this section, so that's why we picked it. Look at the sculpture on those rocks. Right, okay, here we go. So here we are. Oh, it would be good if we start by facing the right way, wouldn't it? So I'm going to play the game, and Ollie and I are going to comment on it intelligently. That's the idea. It's actually, I know it looks like I'm rubbish at this game, but of course it was invented before analog sticks, so I'm having to play with the D-pad, which is very annoying. I'd sort of forgotten how. I can't believe we put up with it, to be honest. When I look at it now, when was the last time you played a game with a D-pad, Ollie?
Oh, it was the other day actually, but it was. Nintendo are bringing it back because they want you to be able to play games on the Wii remotes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Super Mario 3D World, you can actually control on a D-pad. They've made it sort of work, but this was the early days of 3D gaming. And ironically, it was Nintendo who said, no, you've got to have an analog stick to make 3D gaming works, which they insisted on including with the N64. But at this stage, you didn't have analog sticks on PlayStation controllers, and it was controlling this game I always found painful, especially the swimming, so you did well there.
Yeah, no, the swimming was very bad. Luckily, I don't have to put any switches. That was the worst thing, putting the switches underwater. But again, you'll see here, the simplest tasks, actually, Ollie, can prove, even for a games journalist with 10 years of experience, quite challenging. There we are. Good girl. Okay. I'm pretty sure there's another Playmobil.
I do remember a lot of little...
There we go.
Sidestepping forward and backward to try and line up a little run up for the jump. Yeah.
Gangnam Style. Okay. So we're off. So this is quite early on in the game, the Lost Valley level, and that's where we came. And I think although there's been a bit of shooting here, one of the things I liked and still liked about this game is actually there's not that much combat in it. It is mainly exploration, which I just find more interesting as a game mechanic. I know quite a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice sort of quiet game for the most part. Do you think that's...
Yeah, no, it has that amazing sort of sparseness to it. The sound is obviously...
I say that, just shoot another 3 Playmobil dogs in the face. There we go. You'll notice I'm also using my patented Ellie Gibson technique of like just standing still and shooting wildly and hoping for the best.
An occasional backflip.
Yeah, sometimes backflipping in a sort of crap panic. I might have a medipack treat myself.
No, like the sparseness in the sound. I always love the fact there's virtually no music in it, and it's just got these little stings or bits of percussion or bits of dynamic music when some enemies come along, and that really helped with the atmosphere. And there weren't a lot of games that were doing that kind of thing in those days. And in fact, even now, the games that have the courage not to like overdo the soundtrack are pretty rare.
I know. So, I mean, even in the Tomb Raider series itself, if you look at the Tomb Raider reboot that came out last year, I mean, the kill count in the first 3 minutes of that game, I don't know, someone should count it. I'm surprised no one's counted. I'd estimate the kill count in, say, the first 10 minutes of that game is probably higher than all the original Tomb Raiders put together. Like, it's astonishing.
Certainly the human kill count.
Yeah. Oh, look at this now. See this is what I liked about the game. What I mean about this kind of sort of sense of isolation. Like, you really felt like you were on your own, and it had that thing. So there's a skeleton here. I know it's hard to tell with these graphics, but that is a skeleton. But it had this thing of, you had this sense that if you failed and if you sort of died in the game, your body would just never be found. That was just it. That was where Lara was forever. And it reminded me of like the Choose Your Own Adventure game books, where you would like, if you made the wrong decision, like, which could be as much as going left instead of right, you would reach this page that was like, and you were digested in the bowels of the great terrible stinking monster for the next 5,000 years. Or, you know, and you lay that it was like that guy who gets trapped in the mountain, what's it called, that guy, and he has to cut his arm off.
Man.
Dinosaurs. Run away, just run away.
I think the camera's as scared of it as you are. It's doing backflips. There we go.
Just do some backflips, there we are. Right.
What is happening?
I forgot which button it was to shoot. As I say, it's been 15 years or something. Come on, move. She's so athletic, isn't it? And that's what people say. She's so graceful. Right, let's get out.
Dead.
Is he dead?
I think so. Yeah, there you go.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? That was a bit of action. What were you saying?
I was saying, you always had that sense that Lara was completely alone as well, and as the series developed, sort of inevitably she developed a cast of characters around her, and the games got a lot busier and they had more plot and more script. What I really like in this is a sensation, like I think in the very first cutscene, there's a guy that you're with, and he pretty quickly gets dispatched by a group of wolves, and then Lara's just completely on her own for the rest of the adventure. And that's the whole point. It's this feeling of exploring a lost world, which obviously is really brought into focus in this section when, after you've been through all of these empty tombs, you emerge into this verdant valley full of dinosaurs.
That's right.
But I think I was a bit in two minds about that in the recent game, where obviously they started it with she was on a ship with a whole bunch of other people, and there's lots of scripting and there's lots of complicated relationships going on, but at the same time they then stripped a lot of that away as you were moving through the adventure, so they do quite well at giving you that sense of loneliness. But I still felt like Lara was too active all the time, and it was too violent basically for my taste, for a Tomb Raider game anyway.
See if there's anything up here. I know what's coming. Do you know what's coming?
Yeah, I know what's coming.
There's a shotgun around here somewhere, but I can't remember where it is.
I've got to say, I quite like the look of this. Like, obviously those CG cutscenes looked absolutely appalling, but the game itself, although it's really primitive and grainy, I think the production design's quite good. I like the sort of monochrome look, makes it look quite realistic.
Yeah.
And the fact that it just goes into blackness as well, like that.
Well, that's it. And that's one of the reasons I chose this bit, is because this demonstrates what I mean. So because of the limitations of the sort of technology here, there are a lot of bits where they've gone, do you know what, we won't put a bit of pop up in or a sort of blurry old thing in the background. We'll just leave it black, so that for quite a lot of the game you're just walking into nothingness, and that is much more terrifying.
Yeah.
And as we're about to see, you don't always know. You could be walking into the jaws of death. Do you see what I'm doing? Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Clever. Guns out, everyone!
I wonder why that bridge doesn't have
The string quartet are tuning up. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Oh, I've put my guns away. Run and jump. Run and jump and run and run and roll and kick and...
Oh, he's a bit stuck. Oh, the pathfinding is, well, as primitive as a dinosaur, so I suppose it's quite accurate.
This is actually, oh, there we go. I think that's the longest I've ever lasted in that scene, apart from the one time I managed to do it. Well, there we are. Oh, the camera's taking a beating as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, there we are. That's Tomb Raider. So we'll see you again for another Let's Replay soon. I don't know what next. Dino Crisis. Although we can't just have a game with dinosaurs in. This is
just going to be Ellie's favourite PlayStation game vlog, isn't it?
And then Spyro. Anyway, all right. Thanks very much for watching. Do subscribe to Eurogamer, please. All right. Bye.
Bye.